Everyone, DRSN here. Today's video I wanted to give a lecture on movie Hermione Granger from the Harry Potter series. I believe the movie version is the most overrated character in the series. I see on social media a lot of Harry Potter content creators making posts about her, glazing her. Glazing the actress, but I don't have a problem with the Hermione Granger in the books. But I think in the movies, I think she's 99 overall. I think she's a know-it-all, as Snape said in the third film. So here's my main points. The movies don't change her from the books, but they take other character strengths, notably Ron and Ginny, and then they put their strengths into her. So like so those characters feel useless, or like they're just there as fillers, are there as just plot as part just to become part of the plot. The reason for this is Steve Close, who was a screenwriter for most of the movies. Steve Close, the screenwriter for most of the, except for the Order of Phoenix, but and he said his favorite character in the interview was Hermione Granger, and because of that, I think it was biased. Like she steals other characters' dialogues and actions. We'll talk about it. I'll bring up. I'll give examples of that. So, I mentioned earlier that she has no flaws. I think the first book is the best. The first movie is the best portrayal of her, because they show her moments where the audience, like, you might think she's annoying, when Harry jumps on his broomstick to save Neville, to get Neville's remembrall from Draco. She tells him what an idiot. So the fans think that she's the fans, like the audience, thinking that she has moments of being annoying in the first book. So that, in that it shows her flaws, but that's about it. In every other film, like, she knows like things that someone from a Mongol born shouldn't know. So in the books, her SPEW, so her activism for house elves is well attention, but it's flawed because the house elves in the books, they don't really agree with her. They just want to work in the kitchen. So the house elves, they work underneath the, they provide food for the hall, for the Hogwarts hall, for the feasts. And I think in the Order of Phoenix, they disagree with her. They don't want to become free. So, and then she's stubborn too in the books. She can come off. She's more annoying in the books, and other characters, they disagree with her. So, for example, for the third bullet point, she snitches on Harry. That Sirius Black gives Harry a broomstick, and she snitches on Professor Mongolia. Professor Mongolia takes away the broom, and because of that, Harry and Ron, they don't talk to her. So, and she's also more socially awkward. So she's not the type of character you would want to spend time with. But for example, in the Half Blood Prince, in the sixth book, you see Cormac McLagan trying to hit up on her, which makes no sense. That's just increased drama in that film, and that film has flaws in that they focus more on drama and they focus on Voldemort. They took away Voldemort's scenes or Voldemort's past. They could have shown Voldemort his past more, just like the book, but they didn't. So the movies largely remove her flaws, with the exception of the first book. What the movie should have added, I think she had a more darker side. She puts Rita Skeeter, the journalist, she puts her in a jar because she's an animagus, and she blackmails her into stop telling lies about Harry and her. She jinxes the parchment used by Dumbledore's army. So if any member snitched on the group, curse will instantly break out across their face, causing purple, unremovable boils to form and spell the word sneak. So that isn't for the second bullet point. That doesn't appear. They just show Dumbledore escaping, having a badass escape. That's what they show. So in this scene, they diminish Ron's character because she's guiding Ron, but in the books, this is the troll scene, and the bathroom troll scene, where Ron Levioso. Ron does Wingardium Levioso spell, and she's guiding him when she wasn't. She's supposed to be hiding. She's supposed to be afraid here, but she's not doing that. So Ron. This is supposed to be Ron's sort of character development, not hers, but it's showing her as not afraid. So, and still, they show Ron panicking here when he wasn't in the actual book. He acts he reminds Hermione that she's a witch, and they work as a trio here in this Devil's Snare scene near the climax. And again, she does everything. She takes over while Ron is like less confidence on the in the book. Hermione panics here because there's no wood for fire for the Devil's Snare. Ron reminds her, which I mentioned before, and they work together, all three of them, Harry too, as a trio. But in the movie, he's just whimpering. Ron's just whimpering. He's just panicking, and Hermione solves everything without Ron or Harry's help. So it's not really a trio, just making her like a 99 overall. And in this, she uses a spell. And this is the Half Blood Prince. She uses a spell without using a wand. Like, she's Mongol born too. I never seen Death Eaters do this. I never seen Voldemort do this. You never seen Dumbledore, Harry do, but she could do it. I think this is where like she's too overpowered. She does this to help Ron win the Quidditch tryout pitch. And another flaw here. This is the Deadly Hallows Part 2 and the room requirement when it's on fire. I never seen her in the movies or the books be on a broomstick. In the books here, she's with Ron. They're on the same broomstick, but in here she's dodging the fire. She's riding the broomstick like without any flaws, like she's an expert flyer. When Ron and Harry are the ones that playing on the Quidditch team. So they have. So this is something little, but it makes no sense for her to be in the broomstick by herself. I don't believe she's an expert on flying the broomstick. You can check the source material out for that. Okay, this is her when she's stealing other people's dialogues. She steals Dumbledore's dialogue here. She says, she says, what was it? Yeah, right here. Fear of the name increases fear of the thing itself. So she stole this from Dumbledore. This is Dumbledore's line in the book. She stole the goat's line. So the film repeatedly makes Hermione sound more wiser and and I think more wise by giving her iconic lines from others. So this is one example. She took Dumbledore's line. She tells us to Lucius Malfoy. This is another thing. How would she know? This is when Ron does the eat slug spell and it backfires on him, and they go to Hagrid's in the second book or in the movie. She explains what Muggle mudblood is when she wasn't. Ron's supposed to explain it because he's from the Wizarding world, and that makes more sense. And that's what they do in the book. But in the movie, she steals this dialogue. It makes no sense. Mudblood won't appear in a library wizarding textbook, because that's her character. Like, she's book smart. She stays in the library a lot. But how would she know? This is her in her second year, and she's raised by adults, humans. This is the most famous one. This is Ron was the one who stood up to Sirius Black on her broken leg, but they gave it to her. They make Ron whimpering, so they diminish Ron's character. They take away Ron's action. That's a current theme. That's a theme, and they give it to her. And this is in the Prisoner of Azkaban. So she stole it, yeah, in the Shrieking Shack. And yeah, Ron is sort of reduced to whimpering. So this removes Ron's courage and transfers heroism to Hermione. This weakens Ron's sort of protector role. Okay, this is Deadly Hallows Part 2, this screenshot. So this is in the bank when they get the Horcrux from the Green God's bank, and the goblin betrays them, and then they escape with the dragon. So in this, Hermione's the one who jumps on the dragon initially, when it was Harry in the book who jumped on the dragon, and then it makes sense for Harry to jump on and not her, because Harry has experience riding with magical creatures, like riding with a hippogriff, Buckbeak, in the third film. He gets used to it and he's comfortable with it, so it makes sense for him to be the first one to jump, to be the brave one. He's the hero, he's the chosen one. Okay, so this is something where it doesn't feel like a trio, especially after in all the films except for Order of the Phoenix, it doesn't feel like a trio. So in the Deadly Hallows Part One movie, they don't show Ron using his family goal to fake to make it to transfer grid to look like him. So the Death Eaters will think he's in his bed and he's sick. So they removed that, but they show her Hermione erasing her parents' memories. That doesn't so it doesn't feel like a trio, yeah. And the dance scene between Harry and Hermione after Ron leaves is disrespectful to Ron and Ginny, because this was never even happened in the book, and in the book Harry doesn't even talk to her, but they make Hermione emotional support for Harry when Ron leaves. When that makes no sense, they don't talk to each other. Harry used the Marauders map to look at to view Ginny. And this is what I meant. I mentioned this before. They transform Harry's emotional support structure away from Ginny and towards Hermione Granger. I mentioned this. So in the books, this is these two right here, two sentences. So she in the books, in the Order of the Phoenix, Ginny explains the projection and reassures Harry because he uniquely understands what Voldemort's influence feels like. So because Ginny was influenced by it in the Chamber of Secrets, the Horcrux, the Tom Riddle's diary, it possessed her, so they could relate to one another, because she was under Voldemort's control, and Harry starts getting Voldemort's visions during this time. And in terms of the Half Blood Prince, the my British is horror. I don't know much British English, but Sectum Sempra. When Harry used it on Draco, he gets in trouble, but he's also isolated and disturbed. And Ginny's one of the people who naturally understands Harry emotionally throughout the book, throughout the Habit Parents. They have more scenes where she calms him down, she understands his mood, she speaks to him more naturally than the others. She shares emotional intimacy with him. But in the movies, that's all reduced. Ginny, she gets less screen time in the movies. It's all Harry and Hermione. So Ginny's character in the books, she's more sharper than Hermione. She's supposed to be more sharper. Socially, she's more sarcastic. She's more direct with Harry. The movies this down heavily. Hermione frequently becomes the female character, delivering emotional insight, clever observations, mature guidance. When she wasn't, it's supposed to be Ginny's supposed to be doing that to Harry, not her. So this is why the people that only watch the movies didn't didn't read the books. They say Harry and Ginny have no chemistry, and Ron and Hermione they have no chemistry. They shouldn't be together. It should be Harry and Hermione, because screenwriters are biased and gave all of the traits of the other characters to Hermione, or at least or particularly Ron and Ginny. So the book, the trio's balanced where Harry's the brave one. He's is our protagonist. Hermione is the intelligence. She's the book smart person from the trio, and Ron is the heart and culture. He has street knowledge. But in the movies, the trio's unbalanced where Harry's the hero, Hermione's the know-it-all, and she's intelligent, and Ron's just a comic relief support. He's just there to enjoy the ride. So these are sources. These photos I have, they were YouTube screenshots. I took screenshots from YouTube videos, so these are all the links. Thank you for watching, everyone.